I want to show you guys the behind the scenes, the makeup that makes this whole thing go. This is our big, huge grotto gazebo with a see-through deck going down into a rock spa pond. I call it my lazy pond because I can go in there. It also has the Tahitian, it has the Cascade vertical garden. So how do we make this up? There's a lot of electrical and plumbing. Even though it's simple Simon stuff, it's pretty intense for a water feature. So let's get right down into it here. First of all, let's go with the plumbing. Right here, we have two pumps. The pumps have to be out of the water if you're going to go in. You can't have ever an electrical source going into the pond. So right here is our 650 gallon per hour pump. No, 6,500. And on each side of the pump, I have a couple unions. That way I can take the pump out. It goes down into a channel, and that goes right out into a check valve, and each one goes into the pond. This one here comes from the skimmer. This one over here that feeds the grotto and the vertical cascades sneaks down before the medium waterfall, and it just has a check valve, and it goes right into the pond from there. So every single waterfall, and there's I think 9 of them, I should know, but 8 of them, but the grotto, the Tahitian actually has 2. Every one of them requires a valve, so I can really tweak and pinpoint where the water's going. Also, I have a blowout valve here, but I can also add something. You always want to keep your options open for expansion. So you can see where we have the valving here. This here also goes to our heater. This is a 100,000 BTU heater, and what I did is I have it where I can shut the main flow from the going back into the waterfall. Instead, it goes through the heater, and you have to have a simple filter to filter out stuff, and plus there's a lot of chemistry. You want to make sure your pH and your chemicals, because you don't want to route out your coils and stuff inside your heater. So this is how we got this, and all these hoses go back underneath the deck, underneath the wall, into a channel, and feed the different waterfall. On the other side here is our big 8,000 gallon per hour pump, and again we have the different unions so we can take it out even if we have to fix it. Goes in 2 inch, comes out 2 inch. On the T we go and we break it down to 1.5 inches. From there we go straight up and across through the deck and up, and that goes into the big huge grotto. Now the other end here, we go across and we go underneath on the other side of the wall, and again we put a nice cool valve type of system here where we can control and tweak the different flows. We even left one here open in case we want to expand, so it's pretty neat. We also have a place we can blow the water out if we need to, or even expand. So you want to have a manifold with valves so you can tweak and do the different waterfalls. And there you can see where we put the hole into the back of the wall, and it goes right up into our different cascades. Now when you look at the electric, this gets pretty intense, but it's all simple stuff. We have two boxes, and I'll point them with a light. One of them here is going to be, and we'll start off at the beginning, from our main panel in the house. We went off and had a sub panel. From there we put different circuit breakers to run different circuits for the waterfalls throughout the yard. Now this one here, we have 2 different circuits coming out here. One, and they both go into a GFI switch in the basement. One comes straight out, the other one goes into a timer that's in the basement, and then that comes out. So this box here is completely on a timer. One is a timer for a pump if I want to. I want to keep my options for anything that I want to do. The other side goes straight up into a photo cell, and that controls the lights that I want to put on when it gets dark. Now on this side here, this is power on completely all the time. It goes straight up to a switch, so on top of the deck I can switch off. Both of my pumps are on a switch up there because I don't want them to come on with a timer, because I had problems with the water level was a little low and it didn't come on. Now I have some pump repair to do. So we have, we can control one pump on the top part. The lower part is going to be the pump for the big grotto and also the lights, because there's no sense on having the lights on if the grotto's not working. Unlike the other one, I have the lights for the lower part because there's a couple foggers that I want to have. No matter what, if it's on or not, it looks kind of cool. So then I put some pipe clamps to put all my different cords, you can see, and it comes down. And whenever you do cords, it's tough with pumps and lights. It's always a mess. So as you come down, what I did here is I fabricated a little cover. I used a saber saw, made a couple cuts. I used a heater, actually it was my plastic welder. I heated it up. I put a little bit of a bend in it, so there I put it right into the 4x4. So down below here is another table. So this here is my air pump, so I can put air into the bottom of my spa pond. Those over there are the two big huge transformers for my pond foggers. This is where it gets messy because all your pond lights mostly have your transformer at the plug-in, so you can't put any of them into your outlets. So what I did is, that's why I put this thing up at the top to protect the different, because they're all going into different cords and stuff. Up above here, you can see the Alpine. This here is a thing where I can use it controls the different lighting codes that I have. And down there is going to be my remote control, so I can get all different types of combinations for my lighting. So I'm going to take you up on the deck, and you can see the different lights. I got them intertwined underneath the deck so you don't see them. As we come through here, this is pretty neat because this is what I did when I was a senior maintenance specialist, putting in all the different plumbing and not too much in the electrical because we had an electrical group, but I did all the fabrication and all the different layouts of different pumps and stuff. I was a pump guy. So up here, like I said before, from those boxes underneath, it comes straight up into a conduit, goes into a double switch. One is for one set of waterfalls, the other one is for the grotto and the other vertical cascades. We go right up into an outlet, so if I wanted to put something in, whether it's a TV or a radio, I could do that. Then up above is another switch that turns the lights on and off for the grotto. Then up here is the photo cell, where you can turn, where it turns the lights on for the main part as soon as it gets dark, and then the timer shuts everything off. Over here we have a column. So the column comes up, and then I have a removable board here, and there's a valve for the grotto. So I can tweak, I can turn that any way I want to get the flow. So that's it for the nuts and the bolts, and I did forget the heater down there. That there I kind of wanted to skip a little bit because that's a little, when you're playing with gas, you got black iron pipe. That went right up into a valve. It went all the way across my deck, all through the basement, into another valve, and then it went to the main source. So sometimes this here is just to give you some ideas what you can do. Most of you are going to have probably a plumber or an electrical guy to do something like this, but some of you might be able to do all this on your own. So just to give you an idea of the nuts and the bolts behind this big, huge waterfall, epic waterfall, I should say, of the Tahitian grotto gazebo, see-through deck with a spa pond underneath.